ended up thinking photographically in some ways. Even as a skateboarder, you're like, okay, what will look good in the magazine? You want to like, you start thinking about it. I know this is going to be seen by people, so you start thinking about what will I do to make this photo cool as a collaboration with this photographer. But then it was really Thomas Campbell was another artist friend who encouraged me to be a painter and was a photographer and was always shooting photos and influencing me on that level. He was going on this big surf trip and had these books that he wanted me to hold for him. So just by chance, he's just like, hey, I know you have a domestic life and you will take care of these books for me while I'm gone. I'm going to like, he sold all his stuff and he's like going to Morocco to go on some, weird vision quest of some type, surfing and painting murals and stuff like that in Morocco. And one of the books he gave me to hold was Larry Clark's Teenage Lust. And so that was really something that just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, wow, this is incredible. These photos are gritty and sexy and weird and hardcore. And like, I think like a lot of people, obviously not just me, but I mean, even probably your generation, like obviously saw Larry Clark and was interested in that just because it's so, it's like the crack cocaine of photography, otherwise it's like really potent. And, so yeah, I'm not immune to that. I was influenced by that. And for me, it was like the idea of what they were doing. I didn't feel like I was going to copy them at all. Someone like Nan Golden or Larry Clark, because I knew that my cast of characters was so different. So people might say like, oh, you're just copying Larry Clark. It's like, how could I possibly copy Larry Clark? It's like here I am in like the 90s. This stuff that you're referencing was shot in the 70s or 60s even. And we just live in a different era. So the main idea was just shoot your friends, shoot the people around you, shoot your scene. So I think to get to the next part of your question, all this stuff was kind of building to a realization that the world I got to live in was incredible. So that's what you were asking, like, did I know? I did have a feeling like right at the beginning there, once I had this epiphany, or what, if you will, look what I get to do. Like, I just kept thinking like, who gets to do this? Who gets paid, literally paid to do what they would be doing anyway? I'm a 19, 20-year-old kid getting paid to skateboard, getting paid to travel around with your friends and do whatever you want. That's like, I don't know. I think I had this realization, like, what we're doing is not different than what Led Zeppelin is doing. They get to like do their art and people are paying them and loving them and they're celebrities doing what they want to do. We're in the same boat. I had that realization then, and so I thought like this is important based on the fact that I saw these books that here's an example of like a celebrated book where people are like looking at a certain culture at a certain time. In Nan Golden's case, New York, the gay scene in New York, her friend group in New York at that certain period. It's like it was a time capsule. And so I really did think, like, it's funny because it's like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I guess I did. I really did see it like this will be something someday, I think. It's like you don't know ever for sure. You're never sure. But I thought, I'm going to do this. And like I said, I was around people who lived in photography. A lot of my friends, like Christian Klein, shot for Power Edge Skate Mag. And we hung out all the time, and he was like a zine maker. So like the influence of these guys on me is just incredible. Someone like Christian Klein, Mickey Vukovic, all the skate photographers I was around were just such cool people that really shaped me as a kid I knew nothing. I mean, I was just a total dork. Just a kid who skated and had no clue about anything in the world. I was musically clueless until I met Deanna, who went to all these insane concerts before she met me. She was like at these insane punk shows in LA all the time. She was basically saw the Smiths in '85, I can't even name all the punk bands you saw. I met her ditching school to go see a Red Hot Chili Pepper concert in '86. But she opened my world, musically my world, influenced me to all this stuff. And then when it came to photography and all this stuff, yeah, it just like Thomas Campbell giving these books and saying, check this out, hold this for me. it just imprinted on me so much.
Yeah.
So I just had that feeling like this will be something someday. The whole everything's been done thing, I think a lot of people can be crippled by indecision based on that. Like you think, what can I do? What can I do that's so different, or anything like that? And that's one of the, it's a double-edged sword with the internet being at our fingertips at all times. Everything possible is at your fingertips, anything you can think of. And so, yes, everything's done, but just like you said, I mean, just like me finding Larry Clark and Nan Golden and, essentially copying them, knowing that I'm not copying them, I can't possibly copy them, One is I'm not as good as them. Two, I live in a different time. I have a different cast of characters. So even if I'm doing their exact same principle, it's going to be totally different. It's not. No one's going to look at this and say, they might see echoes of it, which I'm fine with. I love the idea of being in people seeing this and seeing some Nan Golden or some Larry Clark in there. That's a compliment to me, But it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go shoot the same thing. Well, a little bird just came up and landed on your camera. So being crippled by indecision is what I was trying to get to with that. It's so easy with all that knowledge, that everything has been done, and people you just turn into like a zombie almost. Like, I don't know what to do because everything, you can't, And so what you were saying is like essentially doing the work, and the combination, that's great. Like that. I want to look up that quote, the combination of taste, because it is true. It's like no matter what you do, like me in my example with Larry Clark and Nan Golden, is that everything you do is going to be uniquely your own. And as young artists, you need to, I think it's fine to like completely dive into copying somebody to a point, but then if you don't evolve, that's the whole key, I guess, is evolution. Because my first art show in New York, I remember being crushed because some guy walked in and glanced at it for 1 second and went, "Oh, this is like Egon Schiele ripoff," and he just walked out. And it probably stung because I knew there was a nugget of truth in there. Like, I was super into Egon Schiele, and like my portraits had a little energy like that, and like, but that pushed me to like evolve out of that. It's like, yes, it's there, but I kept laying down painting after painting, and it changed, and it evolved to something. Another friend of mine one time, Mike Burnett, we were on a skate tour, and I think he was in reference to like me putting out zines and doing paintings and stuff a little earlier on, was like, how do you have the confidence to like think that your stuff is worthy to be even seen, like to put it out there on the chopping block like that?